For this fight,
combination puncher.
Only one defeat. Only two to
see if the instructions of Kevin Barry and the
and he's going to let shoot bout. He's the kind of guy who tire out a little bit if it takes in the first half of the fight.
Left hook that time. Tendencies to revert to European, but he's bent very, very early. This is just round number one. WB, I noticed when I went to see him, I actually spent the day at Kevin. Used to have the hands down, but spun the head that time. Tuning up just a notch, I think, a little bit too. This guy's a pure boxer.
He's a relaxed boxer, and maybe he's a little bit. That's just his temper. Doesn't let anything rattle him, and he just looks for his spots to land his punches. But right now, I think with to those punches.
A little bit busier. He'd like. I mean, he's really getting power. Fight wears down. If fatigue, he can hold up. And I think a very good round for Shumenov. Campillo of Spain, champ in black is Beibut Shumenov. Shumenov did more in the first round.
Landed all the hard punches. Good round for Shumenov. Wondering, he's not used to keeping his mount prematurely. And I'm also.
That's true. He is underneath the left eye. It shots, and that's what I saw in the 3 rounds or 6 rounds. And what I saw, he was throwing punches. Is what this fight's all about.
The punch, but maybe it's just
structure of belt underneath that eye to close that left eye, and that could be a major. In this round, he looks much more confident than he did. And so far, no real damage done. And fighter, remember, he won. Crucial it was. He won the first fight. But by the end of the fight, he dominated it. He's having a very good Shumenov. This is a very good round for the WBA champ.
Campillo must sense something because he's really stepping forward and letting those hands go.
Unless he just felt the whole.
And he doesn't seem very concerned about punching power.
Down in that mouth guard like he wants to take this guy's head off. Really throwing hard shots, and they're not really taking a big. Will be
good one for Campillo. Here he is landing a straight left.
First round on our score sheet. Shumenov second round for Campillo. Campillo blasts to the body with a Shumenov blasts to Campillo's body with the right hand. Kevin Barry told him to pick up the pace as opposed to the head a little bit more. Shumenov not really doing that, but this guy has got some sort of grit. A little off balance that time. I'll tell you one thing, Campillo is one cool customer. Shumenov back zone if you're going to back off and then get yourself set up because Campillo knows how to close the distance. Their weight only a half-pound difference, and they're tall for light heavyweights at the same size. Campillo's 31 and Shumenov is 26.
Now it looks like Shumenov is walk into some of his punches.
Hands high, close to his cheek, and he's hard to hit. It's hard to get between him, but he can't shift this guy. I tell you, Campillo is in some kind of shape. Chin and it doesn't shift him again. That's from he says, keep the punches up. It's a tough, hard round. Look at this. Look at Campillo come back.
Much of it is due to right-handed puncher.
No, not at all. Nice was left and underneath. Left, lets the jab go, throws the left hand behind it and can't catch. He's got to plant and let his right hand go, and he does. But look at Campillo.
Shots are blocking the shots, and he, in our Landy Lara, when somebody
in a main event fight, 10th professional fight. Why is he fighting? Because he's had a tremendous, and he says he's ready to do a decision and all kinds of problems about. It's a good one.
The American fans are getting it.
Trunks is the reigning WBA championship. That's the one. More head movement from this guy. Campillo comes in this time, feints to his left and then off to his right.
This is a little bit of an example of the natural fight. It's not in the textbook way. It's his own style. He moves. He can kind of duck under punches, but when he plants those feet, when he lets his hands drop just a little bit, he feels and have a little bit of head and upper body movement. But Campillo's coming on very strong mid-round here.
Yeah, he is. There's about a little over a minute to go here in the fourth round. Doing well, and this is the way Campillo comes on at the end of rounds. And he was heavier than anything that I think Shumenov landed.
I agree.
That's the way these rounds are going. Seesaw back and forth. Each minute seesaws back and forth. And here's the final minute that Campillo is taking advantage of Shumenov. Left hook. Actually, that's his good boxer.
Very well. That left was like he's watching. He just sees everything coming his way, and he always has an answer fighting well off the ropes here.
He may have hurt Shumenov with a series of punches there. He caught him with about land on him, but he got rocked in this round.
Pressing the action in spots during the round. Here he is backing Shumenov.
Here at the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. His Shumenov has at least in the last round, a tendency to wilt. Barry, I heard him say in between rounds, you wasted a lot of shots here. The problem that I see, Doug, is rolling with the shots.
You know, and so good rolling with punches or blocking punches, and because he has the kind of temperament, I think it would behoove he wouldn't be tuckered out by the end of the round, and he could be more active towards the end of the round.
Like a guy that's his nature, he wants it so bad. And this guy he's fighting is a very good fighter. As I say that, Johnson, we've got a whole section here next to us from Kazakhstan. They go nuts.
The Kazakh fans see blood, the left eye of Campillo, and that I think that might have been. And now we're seeing blood
in the left eyelid. Check it in between rounds to see how big his jab for the southpaw fighter, but it's landed on that eye. Really, Shumenov blocks, and then he uses both hands. He throws almost backhanders to keep him from coming in on him. Shumenov continues to back off as Campillo puts the pressure on him. Got for you.
We have got a hell of a contest here, and I love the fact that Campillo took some hard shots.
First couple of minutes, and this guy's stealing rounds from him, because in the final minute, it's been Campillo coming on. Shumenov not taking any punishment right now, but he better land some.
I think the round is up for grabs.
The bell to end the fifth round of the
Gabriel Campillo
in Las Vegas, Nevada, in the red trunks with that cut in the last round to Shumenov.
As did I. I think that the telling blows, the one that produced. Although Campillo came on very hard towards the end of the round,
Shumenov, I'll tell you, that cut continues to drop blood. And now Shumenov likes to go down. Trying to draw him in to land the right hand upstairs again. Shumenov sometimes, I think he hesitates a little bit too much when Campillo's coming to him.
I agree. And, you know, some Campillo throws so many punches, he still catches.
And again, you know, you brought up a question earlier in the eventually catching up. We're in the middle rounds right now of this leg still seen there, but they're as fresh as they were in the first couple of rounds, so he's going to have to get a second win. Look at Campillo continues to throw. A nice job boxing.
Yeah, that's what he does in the pocket, and everything he punches is textbook. Shumenov throwing harder punches, not always guy load up with every single punch kernel and not tire himself out.
Well, that's kind of what happened in that fight. He came on in the last round. Shumenov is better conditioned for this fight. You got to plant now and throw, and don't let this 5 seconds to go in the round.
Both fighters are suited for fighting the distance because he's used to 6 knockouts.
Shumenov at the end of the last round looked to me like he starts out this round like he always does. First minute and a half of 2 minutes for these rounds. I gave him slightly out in front in this fight.
I gave Campillo. I thought that Shumenov slowed down this round from previous rounds, and Campillo
control. He's a terrific boxer. Shumenov looks a little bit wild right now. He can win from all the hard training he's done. And this guy is one determined athlete. And he's filled with confidence right now.
This is Campillo's American in front of a wide American television audience. He wants to make a statement, and particularly in this round and in the previous round, is that he would be a handful for.
He's really coming on right now and making Shumenov look kind of bad. It's Chad Dawson, Bernard Hopkins, Glenn Johnson still in there, Tarver, Jean Pascal from Haiti.
You know, you mentioned Bernard Hopkins turned 45 this month. Roy Jones Jr., Antonio Tarver 40 or 41. I would imagine the winner of this bout would be considered one of the new faces at stake in this fight. These guys.
Now this 7th round, the WBA champ Campillo is messing right now, and this is not good for him. Mountain round, he comes back and does something good, but this is definitely.
But I think so far we're a tremendous boxer.
Las Vegas, Gabriel Campillo, in my way of thinking, the only one of the last round where he was cut in the eyebrow by that really heavy shot by Beibut. Beibut has got to get a second win here. He's going to have a lot of trouble go the full.
Campillo is used to going the half of a championship bout, and he's used to throwing a lot of punches, which is bad news for Shumenov.
Here he comes. The lens of Shumenov just a hair, and a lot of pressure on him. Shumenov trying to heads coming together. Does not only trains Campillo, but does his cuts, has done a great job keeping that under control. The corner of Shumenov, he's a great cut man too, but Shumenov is not cut. Shumenov backing off, tries to play. Doug, can you figure out something I can't? Why this guy is so hard to catch the flush punch?
He rolls with punches subtly. I think part of prowess. He's always letting his hands go. He will punch while he's letting those hands go. So opponents, they kind of have to punch around his income.
From Kazakhstan, once it seems that he's learned to fight. Has he bitten off more than he can chew to?
Deep end of a pool, and he's water.
Then Shumenov the third, and Campillo the fourth, and Shumenov the fifth. In the last couple of rounds, it's the light heavyweight championship of the world. Score sheet, the official judges, Patricia Levi Martinez of New Mexico and Joe Wilt in the tail end of the fifth round. In between rounds, Doug, Shumenov, that is, to not throw so many hard shots. Just make sure you.
I think that was good advice from Kevin Barry, but I think it was advice maybe Shumenov needed in the second or third round because he was so tight early. His gas tank is not empty, but it's getting there is what it looks like.
He certainly has put the work in, but he's not landing flush punches. And as you see, Campillo has the power in his shots. He's got to bend at the knees, try to work the body. But look at this, just great stuff by Campillo. Really nice stuff by Campillo. In fact, it's hard to see how Shumenov can stand up against this.
Most of them from the gloves of Campillo. And you just got to love the way Campillo is so relaxed. I mean, he's letting power shots go, but he doesn't exert any energy. He's getting leverage on the shots. And what's really starting to wear Shumenov down is the sheer volume and placement of these punches.
Oh, you're so right. I mean, he wants it bad, but he's got a bloody nose and pounded. Not throwing some punches, and he continues to take shots without landing shots. There's a chance it doesn't look good right now. Is he cutting the...
There's a lot of blood.
It's coming from the nose, and Campillo has really beat him up in this ninth round with about 25 seconds to go. And Campillo continues to do it. Shumenov is in a heap of trouble right now.
Campillo senses it, and he's putting his foot on the gas pedal.
He said he'd do just that. For Beibut Shumenov. Look at the cut.
Why here? Straight left lands, right hook, right jab, right.
All right, back to live action. Campillo is such a way back to the first round and then to the fifth round for the good rounds of Beibut Shumenov. Knows that the guy partially blocks it, and it's very frustrating for Shumenov. Shumenov's a fighter in counter doing things in just half of the round.
He keeps that nice calm expression on his face, so or the judges know it, and that has to be.
Won the first Campillo picks up his the 8 champ in the black trunks. Just, you know, see it in his eyes and the way he's fighting. But Campillo, this guy is something else.
Well, Shumenov is kind of made when he's fatigued for Campillo because he has so much every shot that he lunges Campillo's way.
You know, he already is. You got to consider him amongst the, 8-1. Right? And you ask it quite much too soon because from the 130 when he's boxing better now than his Shumenov round.
You know, he's putting the effort in, and I think he's going to cope with these late sort of pot shot Shumenov from the outside.
Sizable difference in hand speed shown by 10 seconds now. The 10th. Beibut Shumenov to it. Doug didn't ask you round.
I gave the 10th round to Beibut Shumenov. I gave him an A for effort. Just such, and basically, I allowed Shumenov to out-hustle him.
Even a little bit enough, and I gave him that way. But I've got him 3 points behind with just these 2 rounds to go. Here seconds to win the first minute, but he can't shift the guy. Nice job counterpunching and not allowed.
Campillo just doesn't get discouraged.
He doesn't. What a terrific fight this is. Look at Campillo. You talk about the determination of Beibut Shumenov. He's some kind of tough character from Kazakhstan. He got whacked with that, but he was with that punch, and it looked a lot better than it was. Sammy Kotel, Fred Traeger. Shumenov in the a handful of work to do in the last minute and 45 seconds. If Campillo can close out this 11th round, Shumenov would need to knock it.
Guys, particularly Shumenov, because I know he's tired, fighting into the 11th and 12th rounds, and he's just giving it everything he's got.
Well, is paying dividends right now. Even low, Campillo is starting to, he always does into the last few rounds anyway. To set down on his punches, but he's never been able to tag this guy and even sting him once during the course of the fight. More movement of his head too, because there's his head right there. Look at this.
Campillo.
And now because of that, Campillo can have one more flurry, a hard round to score. Looping shots like that stand out in the judge's eyes.
Campillo's punches are more accurate. Shumenov's punches, they carry a lot of force on them, but he just can't land clean. Can't land clean on Campillo.
A war.
Go, and they are accurate hands.
Well, and he's going to try and do really get away from him as the chant goes up for Beibut. Beibut trying to finish strong here. He's got to knock him.
Being landed by Campillo right now. Most of these rounds, particularly late in the fight, and I give him credit, but while Shumenov works hard, I would say...
Terrific boxer he has shown tonight. Now hard shots.
Picked on the wrong title holder in Gabriel Campillo, and I tell you what,
Well, and Beibut continued to work with Kevin Barry. I think from this fight, from his last fight, where he all time is more convincing to be a better fighter, Campillo certainly determined. I want to thank our producers, Jason Bino, and our coordinating producer, Luis.
All hang out, Colonel.
Close a terrific fight. It'll go to the score sheets. Beibut Shumenov! Really surprised that Beibut Shumenov